cognitive dissonance is an interesting concept. According to this bulky printed version of Wikipedia, the psychological term means, and I quote, the excessive mental stress and discomfort experienced by an individual who holds two or more contradictory beliefs, ideas, or values at the same time. Okay, that seems pretty logical to me. You know, somebody may hate big corporations, for instance, yet still shop at Walmart, and they could justify that decision by saying that it saves them money. However, the issue that has really broken my brain this week that just does not add up is parked right over there. Why does this sensible station wagon, a family-focused vehicle, have nearly 600 horsepower? This is the 2014 Mercedes-Benz E63 AMG S model 4MATIC Wagon. It combines the hauling capabilities of a low-slung utility with the ferocious power of a solid-fuel rocket booster. Now, the company claims it'll blast off from 0 to 60 miles an hour in just 3.6 seconds. Top speed is electronically limited to a $186. This thing is quick enough to bruise your organs, and I'm pretty sure I'm still internally bleeding somewhere. Ooh, yeah, right there. That's the spot. Making all that possible is a 5.5-liter V8 engine. It's augmented with direct fuel injection and twin turbochargers. In the wagon here, it delivers 577 horsepower and an earthquake-inducing 590 pound-feet of torque. An AMG Speed Shift MCT automatic transmission gives drivers 7 ratios to play with, and interestingly, it features a multi-plate wet clutch instead of a traditional torque converter. Supposedly, this arrangement is better for both acceleration and fuel economy. Harnessing the engine's giddy-up is a performance-oriented all-wheel drive system. 4 selectable programs are available for the car, ranging from controlled efficiency for thrifty everyday motoring to manual mode for total control. Paddle shifters allow you to pick the gear you want. A sport-tuned suspension is standard. Steel springs support the front end, while load-leveling air bladders prop up the rear. The car's dampers are electronically adjustable. Additionally, the brakes are suitably massive, with bright red calipers clamping down on gigantic discs. Not that anyone's going to buy this car for efficiency, but fuel economy numbers are still important. Accordingly, it stickers at 15 miles per gallon in the city and 21 on the interstate. Combined, it ought to deliver 17 mpg. Start-stop technology helps bolster those figures. Another thing that's vital, especially with a station wagon, is interior space. Behind the second row seat, there's an ample 29 cubic feet of volume. Fold that bench down and you get more than 57 cubes to play with. These figures are pretty close to what's offered in small crossovers these days. Also, the cargo area is long enough that you can actually lie down in there and take a nap if necessary. And if only vagrants could afford an AMG, I think we might be able to end homelessness. So this car posts some huge numbers and it promises to deliver absolutely blockbuster performance, but what's the damage? Well, I hope you're sitting down or preferably in the fetal position on the floor. The E63 AMG S model wagon kicks off around $103,000, including D&D. That's destination and delivery, not Dungeons and Dragons. Super cool! No, actually it's not. However, this test model crossed the finish line with an out-the-door MSRP slightly less than $114 grand. Options include the $2,800 driver assistance package, an extra $500 for 19-inch 10-spoke wheels, plus an additional $2,850 for carbon interior trimmings. But here's the kicker, you can pay an extra $1,500 for a carbon fiber engine cover. Oh yeah, these front seats here are super comfortable and they're adjustable 6 ways to Sunday, probably even more than that if you're not of the religious persuasion. And I love how the already aggressive side bolsters here can be brought in even further to help support my withered torso. And you know something? The back seats ain't too bad either, and they help transform this car into a super functional family machine. The cabin is dressed with optional Dazino Mystic Red Napa leather. It's soft to the touch and rich to the eye, but regrettably, some of the other parts of this interior aren't quite as nice. First of all is the gear selector. I mean, look at this thing. It's so weird looking. Then they've got a separate button for park over here. Frankly, I wish they just had a control stalk up on the steering column here, like in the S-Class I drove about a month back. It works really well. Plus, it frees up all kinds of space right down here on the center console. Also, the version of Mercedes command system in this car looks pretty dated, especially on that small display screen. But none of that really matters when you fire it up. Ooh, listen to that! Despite wearing a pair of turbochargers, this car still rumbles like a proper V8, and of course it performs like one as well. You know, it is frighteningly fast, and when you nail the accelerator, I just giggle every single time. And I think the only car that I've actually driven that is quicker than this one is probably the Porsche 911 Turbo S, which of course is a dedicated sports car. This right here, again, is a station wagon. It's crazy. I have no real complaints about the way this car feels out on the road. The steering, for instance, is really nice and tight. It's got heavy weighting to it, and there's no sense of nervousness or dartiness to the handling. Also, the brake pedal, very firm, but easy to modulate. There's a lot of stopping power with this car. Now, the ride is firm no matter which drive setting you use, but it is never brutal. This car is sporty, but still livable. As for the transmission, it's probably the weakest part of this car's driving experience, if only just. That wet clutch arrangement they've got has kind of a weird feel to it, and it can behave a little bit like a dual clutch transmission at some times, with sort of a slipping sensation at low speeds. But overall, I don't think the typical driver is going to tell the difference between this transmission and one with a traditional torque converter. Of course, the main attraction with this amusement park ride is the acceleration, and it's absolutely bonkers. Once again, this car will go 0 to 60 in just 3.6 seconds. And when you punch the accelerator, it punches back like an MMA cage fighter, except chances are you're not going to get a broken nose when you nail the gas in this car. The E63 AMG here kicks the notion that station wagons are boring vehicles square in the teeth with a steel-toed boot. This car is 3 scoops of outrageous crammed into one Autobahn-proven kiddie cone. It's luxurious, it sounds good, and it's scary fast, yet it's still got plenty of comfort for passengers and lots of cargo space. No, this car does not make any sense at all. You might as well crack walnuts with a wrecking ball. But if this thing is crazy, then I want nothing to do with sanity. For more on this review and others like it, visit AutoGuide.com. And I quote, "The excessive mental stress and discomfort experienced by an individual with chronic diarrhea." And again. Once again, this thing will do 0 to 60 in just 3.6 seconds. And when you punch the accelerator, it punches back like an MMA cage fighter, except chances are you're not going to get a broken nose when you hit the gas. The Honda CR-V.